I mean, do you pay attention to your stats at all? I mean, maybe not national rankings, but I mean, kind of where you're at, tackles for loss, sacks, and all that.
I mean, we got production, so I look at the production maybe, but I ain't really too worried about the stats about national and all that. Just worried about making plays for real.
Did you come into the season with like a goal, like I want to have 5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, or anything like that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I did have some little goals in my notes though. I had to change them because like I'm kind of past a couple of the. I only had like I put my thing down for like 3-4 sacks. I'm already at 3, so I had to change a couple things.
You got I believe you started the past 2 games of money. What's that been like, just getting the chance to show what you do with people that know? Obviously, the game against Cincinnati, but starting must be fun.
Well, yeah, that's huge. I mean, starting, you can get more reps, so you definitely get more opportunity more plays to make plays. So that was huge for me, just to be able to show what I've been working on all these years, just to be out there and make plays for us. That was big.
North Carolina showed you film so far.
They're a good team. They got a good back. They're going to run the ball. They down to their third quarterback, so they're going to try to run the ball probably a little bit more. But they're a good team. They got good schemes. It's just going to be a battle, good ACC battle.
Hampton's a big guy, breaks a lot of tackles, one of the better backs in the country. How do you try to simulate that in practice, or how do you prepare for it?
I mean, we just go back to our fundamentals, tackle how we supposed to tackle. We know he's a bigger back for sure, but come down to fundamentals, putting our chest on the guy, how to cross, little things like that is going to be big to be able to tackle this guy. He's a good back.
I think yesterday your head coach compared him to the Cincinnati running back, Reiner. Does he remind you of him at all?
Yeah, they both about around 200, 225, around there, that range, about 6 foot, so they kind of more stout guys. They both good backs, though, for sure. So that's really the only comparison. They just bigger backs.
Is it like the first time you hit a bigger back like that, is it kind of open your eyes a little bit like, oh, that's what it's like to hit a 200-pound guy?
I mean, I probably think C.J. Donaldson for West V. He was probably the biggest out of all of them, so not had to hit him. It was probably more like, feel me, than Corey Kiner. Because Z.J., he a big boy. He a big boy.
I know you're used to block punts, but what was it like seeing Maverick make that block up against West Virginia, and then obviously Boyd Brand?
Yeah, that was big. That's my guy, Maverico. That's big for him. I was very excited because he just always talk about making plays when his opportunity come in. He had a chance to go do something, and he did it. So that was big for Mav.
Were you surprised that no one even seemed to block him on the edge? You just had free pass in the punter.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising, but hey, get opportunities to make plays. That's what he did.
You had a lot of playing time against Young South State. What was it like to have that trust from the coaching staff to go out there and play?
It felt good, just having a good week of practice. They trusted me to go out there and perform, so it felt good.
There'll be some more opportunities for you, especially in the first half of this week. I mean, what's it been like going in this week, knowing that you maybe have an opportunity to earn some more playing time moving forward?
It's been feeling good, just preparing a lot more. I'm going to be working both. Losing PJ is going to be hard. A great leader on the field, just going to be hard without him in the first half, but we'll have him in the second half, so it should be good.
What was it like looking at that first interception against West Virginia?
It felt good, like a dream come true, man. The backyard brawl, my first time playing in it, it felt good, just getting that interception.
You're younger than some of the guys you're playing with. You're sort of fitting in and also being, sort of a leader for even the guys younger than you.
Yeah, definitely. Just picking their brains, the older guys' brains, learning how to be a leader. Like guys like B. George, he's been teaching me like how to be a leader, and I'm teaching the younger guys, so it's been good.
What did George taught you about being a leader?
Just you can't always be the nice guy all the time. Like sometimes you got to put people in their place, and that's what comes with it. So yeah.
What are the differences between what you have to do in the base versus in the Delta package, and how has it been learning both of those positions?
It's been good. Actually, Javon, he played it his sophomore year, I think, his red shirt freshman year, like me. So I've just been picking his brain, learning from him. So it's been good.
What's he talking about?
Just different, just a different footworks and like different techniques you have to use. So it's been good though.
Coach is pretty strict with you in that role as far as what you got to do. Do you have any kind of freelance opportunities in that kind of spot?
I mean, yeah, it depends like what the offense does, but yeah, I gotta do the technique that he teaches me. So, but yeah, there's definitely some free run I could do.
Your head coach yesterday and then your safeties coach today both mentioned you played both safety spots, on on Saturday, and I'm sure you've been learning it for a while. Has it been tough to learn both? I mean, is there enough overlap that it's not too tricky to figure both out?
It hasn't been tough, really, because Coach Sanders is a great coach. He's been teaching me how to do it, so it's been good. So, yeah.
Is there one you enjoy more than the other?
I would say boundary because you get to hit more, so, yeah, I'll say boundary.
What have you made about your own performances, I guess, overall, like heading into ACC play? What are you, I guess, impressed with what you've done, maybe what you're trying to work on?
I'd say continue to work on my eyes. I feel like I've been saying that, just like reading my keys better, learning like if he does that, I got to react off of him. So, yeah, things like that.
What did you learn about playing a position you were still there because they teach you how tough you're going to have to be?
I feel like the main thing they teach me is just toughness. Like, I feel like if you don't got toughness, like, you ain't going to be able to go out there and play. I feel like toughness is the main thing you need playing football. Like, it's built out. That's what football is built off, toughness. So I feel like that's what it taught me.
Two different names. Is it Censere, CJ? Which one do you prefer?
Censere or CJ. It doesn't matter.
What have you liked from what you see, how the offense operated this season, especially coming from, being under Cabo last year?
I liked it a lot. It's the same thing. I knew it was going to work. Some of us that transferred from there and played knew it was going to work. Kate knew it was going to work. We just had to work really hard in the summer and spring to get all the guys familiar with the offense. And there, as you can see, everybody knows everybody's rolling, playing good.
What did your film study show you about North Carolina secondary?
Talented. They play hard. Just because another team beat on them don't mean we're going to let off. We're going to expect their best. We're going to give them our best. And we played against one of their guys. We know how he is, so.
What was that feeling like going in and taking off for that 82-yard touchdown against UNC?
It felt good. Something that I was doing at Western, So it was good to get back in my groove, get back to playing, confidence back and stuff.
So you played against one of the North Carolina guys
Yes.
previously?
Yeah.
Who was that?
28, he played at Eastern Tennessee, ETSU.
You played against?
Yeah, we were both FCS.
Did okay against?
Yeah.
Is that how you like you were talking about the Youngstown State game and the 82-yard catch? Is that kind of what you did at Western Carolina when you had some of your bigger games? It was like one really big catch and then a few more that kind of got you past that 100-yard
Yeah,
mark?
so usually, like at Western, every game or one of my touchdowns usually be like 70 yards, 60 yards, and then I may have like a shorter one there, here and there. But that's kind of like what I've been doing, like just deep passes, what I'm good at. It's my strength.
Do you kind of have to be patient a little bit? Like, all right, that chance, this was the fourth game of the season when you finally got that big one.
Yeah, you don't often get it. It's kind of like everything just has to go in the right way. So like deep balls like that are kind of like once in a lifetime. You get the chance, you just got to take the opportunity. Don't let it pass by.
So that play against Youngstown State then, like, was it before the snap? You're like, oh wait, I'm gonna have a shot for one here. When did it click for you? Of like, all right, this could be the big one.
So before we go on the field, we kind of noticed their like rhythm of like what coverage they're gonna run, like 1st and 10, the first snap. So we go out there, and I'm really good at reading the coverages off the bat, kind of. So I knew I was gonna be like the ball was coming to me, kind of off the coverage.
You knew it was going to be one-on-one. Right?
Yeah, I knew I was gonna be a first read.
Your eyes were more big than that.
Yeah.
What's it been like working in this receiving room with so many different options that Eli has all those guys to work with?
I love it because you never know who's going to have that 100-yard game. Like we had three different receivers go for 100. Me, Kenny, and Tay. Pop might go for 100 next game. Day might go. Like Day had a great catch. Like we all have something that we're very good at. So it's never really a drop off when we sub. It's like you're getting the same kind of juice, even better probably.
What are your main attributes that stick out compared to some of the other guys?
I say speed and my ball skills. And then I can go out there and play more confident because I know the offense. So, like, when you know it at a high level, you can just go out there and play your game. It's not like a robot, kind of.
You worked with Eli throughout the offseason. Now that you've been in 4 games with him, is there anything he's done in these games that sort of surprised you that maybe you didn't see in the offseason?
Him running. I didn't know he was a runner. He can run.
What's it like playing at the backup role in Cincinnati? Like, what was it like being in those environments?
That's the craziest game I played in. It made me more excited, more than nervous. Like, I wanted to be there in that moment. It's what I've dreamed of. It's a great time.
How's it been like being with Poppy? I know you guys, I know Poppy was previously Western Carolina, was transfer, so it's a little bit like just seeing it back with the big teams again.
Same thing. He's doing what I expect out of him. I'm doing what he expects out of me. We hold each other to a higher standard. And, like, the whole receiver room now, we hold each other to, like, a pro standard. So, like, little things, like maybe the DB holds you, but we still need to catch the ball, still need to get open, all those type of things.
What was the timeline of your decision to come here? Was it before or after Kate Bell was here?
Before I knew he was coming here, because I think it got announced that he was getting the job, like, after I got the offer, but I already had, like, looked up everything in the history of Pitt, so I kind of, like, knew where I was leaning towards. And it just made it better when he got the job, so.
You were thinking about getting Cheers Eve before you went.
Yeah.
What's it been like working under Kate Bell here in Pitt, especially, you know, his standard is to score 70 points, 50 points, and you guys finally were able to reach out against UNC?
It's been the same. Western, he preached we want to score 70 every game. Our objective is just to outscore the opponent as much as we can, not rely or depend on the defense, because you never really know.
Anything else? Go ahead.
I mean, you probably have known how talented Desmond's been for a long time, but I mean, are you surprised he's been so good to start the season?
Nah, he freshman year, I remember we played Georgia Tech, and you seen a glimpse of it, of like what he was doing. That was my first time seeing him like play and actually run. Surprised me. I always knew he was fast, tough though, real tough.
How have you felt about your play in the offensive line as a whole so far this season?
I feel like we've been playing pretty good ball. We gave them a few sacks this season, but we're all getting better each game, and I feel like we're growing and getting adjusted everything to this offense.
It's the bye week nice to be able to kind of refocus after some crazy games, come back since West Virginia, Cincinnati, kind of get back to the basics.
The break we just had was perfect. I feel like everybody got a reset. You know what I'm saying, got our bodies back right. And after the big games like West Virginia, Cincinnati, it showed us that we can compete with anybody. Coming back from those deficits that we were in, and just keep fighting. That's the culture of this team. That's what I feel like.
What was it like playing in those rivalry games, especially back overall? How was that first?
For my first one, it was a movie. I wasn't really too much familiar with the backyard brawl before I got here, but and the atmosphere was crazy. Just the competition throughout the week. I mean, the guys were competing all throughout practice, and then the game day was just another level. So just experiencing that, man, that's a once in a lifetime experience right there.
You mentioned after giving up some sacks, you guys are fixing stuff. What specifically did you guys work on to get a little bit better?
I mean, just our pass pro technique, you know what I'm saying? Like Coach Darveau is harping 6 seconds of hell, if I can say that. But basically just block our guys for 6 seconds, man, because you don't know what Eli can do back there. He can scramble out the pocket, he can scramble down the field and pick up big yards. So as long as we just stay tight in our technique and hold our blocks for 6 seconds, man, this offense can do whatever.
Is it tougher when Eli starts to scramble and create things with his legs? Like, you got to make sure you're not holding, make sure you're blocking the right.
Yeah, of course, because when he gets to scramble, we kind of don't know where he's going. So when a D lineman kind of sees that, it's kind of hard to get off a hold. We can definitely get holding blocks, but as we're just saying, keep tight on our technique, keep moving our feet, make sure, you know, I'm just saying we just don't give up blocks and just give 6 seconds of hell.
6 seconds sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
Long time to hold a block.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. 6 seconds is a long time. But it's kind of over-exaggerated, but he just wants us to keep finishing and keep fighting basically throughout the blocks. Yes, sir.
I think part of the reason why I extended the season is the tempo and being able to deal with that. How do you handle the tempo and the speed of the offense?
I feel like we've handled the tempo of the offense pretty well. I know in the beginning of the season, I know we went sometimes gas. We kind of lined up a little slow, still trying to make perfect calls. But, I mean, now, man, when we hear gas, we ready to go. Like, man, Coach tell us bump a call. As soon as we hear the call, just go. As soon as the gas, call is made, whatever. Yes, sir.
Ryan and Jason, next to you, playing next to both of them, be pretty comfortable with both guys? You know, you go with one or the other?
Oh, yes, sir. I feel comfortable with both Ryan and Jason. Both guys like to compete. They both are competing whenever they get a chance to step on the field, and I communicate well with both of them, and even with BJ. So we're all in one unit and in sync with each other.
Anything additional? Still carrying for some North Carolina hate from your days at NC State?
Yeah, man. I ain't a big fan of Tar Heels, but I know we just got to go to work on these boys. I know they're a good team, and we just got to come out with every ACC game and hate everybody. Everybody in the ACC we got hate for because we're trying to win it all this year. Yes, sir.
Did you play against them many times? I know that there's different divisions a couple of years ago, but
yeah, I never played. I mean, of course, playing at NC State, like we kind of went against, but I never was. I didn't get a chance to play on the field against them. Nah. But I know they got some big guys up front, and they got some athletic guys at linebacker and all over the field. So, just seeing playing there and then scouting them now, I feel like we're all going to be really well prepared to play them.
What type of books does their defensive front bring?
Well, before we get into that, it's probably something better directed to the head coach. So we'll stay away from semantics now. If you want to talk generalities, feel free to do so.
They just play a 4 down front, and like I said, they just got athletes on the back end that we're all prepared for.
So, like, I guess being 4-0 must be feels pretty good going into.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Like being 4-0, you're undefeated going into ACC play. I mean, how much of a difference does that make for you guys?
Man, I just feel like our confidence as a team, after Kent State, our confidence grew. After Cincinnati, our confidence grew. After West Virginia, and even after Youngstown, even though they're FCS school, but it's just I feel like our confidence just keeps growing. So I feel like we're going 4-0 after our bye week and going against UNC. It's just I feel like we're all good. Everybody on the team, we're not getting complacent, and we're just ready to play. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting 1-0 each week.
What can I do?
What kind of progress have you seen your younger guys making on the line?
Yeah, you look at really 3 areas when you talk about progress. You talk about operations, you talk about run game, and you talk about pass protection, right? And from an operational standpoint, our young guys, we're really not jumping off sides anymore. We're not blowing assignments anymore. We're on the right guys. We're hatting guys up. So from an operational standpoint, we've been making a lot of strides with our young guys. From a run game standpoint, again, we're on the right guys. We've got to do a little bit better job of fitting, refitting blocks, finishing blocks, right? Because we're still at, with these guys, the early stages of their learning. We're at if you're in 12 grades of school, they're in 3rd grade right now with me. So, we're talking about the young guys, right? Your freshmen and all those. So, they're in that 3rd, 4th grade right now. They're learning how to fit, finish, drive, fit your double teams, all those different things. So from a run game standpoint, we're getting better as a unit with the young guys. From a pass pro standpoint, that's an area that, as you guys know, that's a never-ending learning process with pass protection. It's the hardest thing that's done out on the football field, in my opinion. Trying to go backwards versus a guy that runs probably a second faster than you and is a lot lighter on his feet than you and nimble and trying to protect a spot right there. That's something that we continue to build on, and we continue to work from a technique standpoint with our young offensive linemen. But, we're starting to get some of those guys back. Gio's coming back from an injury, and that's good to get him back out there. We like him. Schmo's the guy, Schmo Ranzer, he's the guy that's coming back, and he's done a great job for us this offseason. So we're really back at full strength right now. So now we're really able to get out there and mix it up with all of our boys.
I think I read online, this is why I'll ask you about it because I don't always know what they say online is accurate, but it said that your quarterbacks have been blitzed about 26% of the time. Does that line up with what you've seen? Are teams mostly just rushing forward against you guys?
Yeah, we'll see a variety. I would say that's probably, I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but I would say it's probably somewhere in that 1 out of every 3 plays, somewhere around there that they're going to blitz. Obviously, the success in our passing game probably has something to do with that as well, but that's probably, just from watching the last 4 games, I would say that's probably a pretty accurate number.
So does that, when you look at some of the pressure that Eli's been under, does that sort of reflect guys just not winning one-on-one? Is that what you're running into?
Yeah, again, it's a marathon when you talk about pass protection, right? And building your pass protection, it's something that we've put a lot of effort into, and quite frankly, we need to put more effort into it, from my technique standpoint. So really what we've got to do is just refine our technique. We're working on that, this week, last week, of making sure that, we're making the first meaningful touch in pass protection. We're square to line of scrimmage. We're going out and creating separation from the defense line and our quarterback, right? Those things that you repeat over and over and over again, after a while, they really start to take hold as just a part of who they are. And that's kind of the process we're working through right now is, just refining our technique and refining all that stuff. So
Both Ryan Jacoby and Jason have played a little bit of that left guard spot. What have you seen from both of them?
Yeah, Ryan's a physical player, and he's like one of those old school offensive linemen that, if they still had the straight bars down the middle of the face masks, you'd see him in one of those. He's got the elbow pads and all that stuff, looks like Macho Man. So he's an old school offensive lineman who's physical. He's had some injury issues that have kind of held him back over the last couple of weeks, but he's fully released right now, and I look forward to watching him continue to play. As far as Collier goes, he's a finishing type football player. Like he does it. I think he's got like second in pancakes on the offensive line right now because he stays active, and that's one of his strengths is he's always looking for work, right? If something happens on a line game and somebody's looping over there free, he'll go chase him down and knock the crap out of him. Like he's an active player, and he's always looking for something. So I enjoy watching him play.
Who's the leader in pancakes?
The leader in the pancakes right now is Ryan Baer. He's got 20 right now over 4 games, so he's in the lead right now.
How have you seen Lyndon Cooper sort of progress over the first 4 games?
Well, I can't speak highly enough of Lyndon Cooper and the job he's done at that center spot, and just where we've come from with him. When we first got him, he was a little bit passive in pass protection, and he was a little unsure about what to do. And we've built his confidence up, and we've built his technique up to now he's one of the dominant centers in the conference, I think, right now with how he plays. So I look forward to just finishing the year with him and having another year with him as well next year and seeing how far he can go, because he's kind of like Jacoby, one of those old school guys. He wants to finish every block. He wants to play through the whistle. And you guys that have been here a while, that's always one of my things for the offensive line is I want to see toughness. I want to see finish. I want to see 6 seconds of work and not giving up on blocks.
Lyndon's been one of the guys more noticeable, like getting off the field as well, leading blocks. How important is that, getting further downfield for your line?
Yeah, go back to, again, what we've talked about the last couple times that we've all met is something that's important to me is I don't need big, giant, bulldozers. I'm looking for like, I don't know, what's kind of a car that's big but also fast, like a Bronco, something like that. Like something that's big but can also move is kind of what I'm looking for on the offensive line. So Cooper fits that bill. He's a 300-pound guy, but he can also get out there, like you're saying, and lead block and get on the edge and pull and pass protect with some speed. So he's a guy that fits what we're looking for on our offensive line as far as the athleticism and the strength to be able to stand up against the big nose guards like we'll see, this week.
Jay Williams obviously has a lot of experience for some guy who's just a sophomore. What do you like from Williams?
BJ's got the most violent hands that I've ever seen a guard play with. Like his ability to put his hands on you and strike you and create separation is unparalleled on our offensive line. Like, and we always talk about, separation equals time. Meaning if I can get the defensive lineman away from me, I've got time to recover from any sort of bad body position that I've got. And that's what he's so good at, is creating that separation to buy himself time to recover if he gets in bad position. So his hands are unbelievable. And then just he's hungry. He's always in there trying to learn. He's always in there trying to study tape and see what he can do better at. He's asking questions. He's not just going out there assuming that he knows everything.
Overall, you seem pretty optimistic, pretty positive about your group. Are you surprised they're giving up 12 sacks already?
Yeah, obviously that's not what we want to do. We want to keep in that first year, you want to be somewhere around 7-8% of your attempts, in that first year, and then kind of go to, the 5%, and then down into 3% of your attempts being sacks. So we're a little bit ahead of that right now, and obviously that's not where I want to be at as an offensive line coach. But what else can you do? You can dwell on it, or you can move forward and say, here's what we got to do to continue to get it fixed, and that's what we're doing right now with our individual time. Is we're putting a lot of effort into pass protection and maintaining our blocks and sustaining in pass protection for 6 good seconds.
What have you guys worked on the most in the bye week to shore up on your defense after getting 4 weeks of play and getting to study what you guys are doing right and doing wrong?
I think for us, just back-end wise, just a lot of fundamental technique stuff. You talk about eye discipline downfield. Then just some, coverage stuff where we're working together, some 3-over-2 stuff, just making sure we're on the same page, working well together versus different route concepts, just back to day one. That's, you get so caught up when you're in the season and you're working specifically on an opponent. When you have that bye week, you get a chance to take a step back and just truly focus on those everyday fundamentals and techniques. And I thought we had a good opportunity to do that last week Wednesday and Thursday. Then obviously today we came out and focused on North Carolina today, then had a little Sunday walkthrough with them as well.
How have you felt about how your safety group has embraced the fundamentals of what you've been trying to teach them, making sure, hey, we're in the right spots, we're not leaving open gaps in our defense so far?
Yeah, so far from that standpoint, I think Donovan's done a good job of just being in position. When you talk about run fits and stuff like that, of being able to make plays that come to him. There's some still stuff, I think cleanup-wise from a pass standpoint, where we need to make some more plays with the ball in the air, if that's finishing on the ball or just being cleaner in coverage with how we are on receivers and attacking receivers through the reception area and that. So there's some things to still clean up from that standpoint. But at the end of the day, we're always trying to get better, and we're always focused to try to grow every single day.
Cruce obviously had a great summer.
Yeah.
How does he progress now with games being played with him?
He's good. When you look at it, I think Cruce came out against Kent State, had mid-20s from a rep count. Then he was in the teens the next two games against West Virginia, which he had a huge interception before the half to stop their drive in our Delta package. Then he played, in the mid-teens against Cincinnati. Then last game against Youngstown, he had 42 snaps. So the goal was to hopefully have Cruce from 70 to 90 reps by the time we hit conference play. And right now we got him at 84 reps. So I think we did a good job of doing that, getting him in there, getting him up to speed. And now, you'll see more of him in this first half and throughout this game. I thought he did a good job last week against Youngstown State, made a few tackles. And I think he's made the most of his opportunities when they've been presented. So when he's been at the point of action or contact, he's made plays when it's come to those moments.
How many of those reps were with base?
With base? Oh my gosh, I wish I knew exactly. I would say out of 84 reps, I would probably say 50 have been in base defense. 50 to 55 would be my guess. Would be right in that range, probably 55.
Right.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I think Cruce is moving along very well right now. I think he's doing well. I thought he came out, had a good practice today, had some good physical finishes, something we're really harping on, how we punch the pockets, how we hook and swat, being strong and violent on our finishes. And I thought he had a few good ones today in our 7-on-7 and our team sessions today.
He'll have to play more with PJ being out for this first half, but can you see him just working himself into the rotation, making even more of a four-man rotation when you guys?
Yeah, we'll see. At the end of the day, it's all about opportunity. And PJ's still going to have his opportunities to be in the game come that second half. But, I look forward to seeing, and we look forward to seeing what Cruce can do as a program as he gets that opportunity on Saturday. He'll be playing field and boundary safety. He'll play both safeties. And I know he's more than up to the task. I know he's excited. And like I said, throughout these first 4 games, when he's had chances, he's made the most of those chances. So we all look forward to seeing how he does this Saturday.
Or you've seen Hampton a few times. You've had to prepare for him. Anything different with him this year or new with him?
He's a good running back. He's a good running back. And we faced a few throughout the years, but, seeing him last year, he's 6 foot 220, and you got to step all the way on his toes and run your feet on those tackles, all right, and shoot those arms and bring those hips with you because you start diving in that, he's going to run right through your tackles. You tackle too high, he's going to run through your tackles. He's very physical with his stiff arm. He's a good running back. He's patient with good vision and can get vertical when that hole opens up. So we got to do a good job defensively, like I say, getting all the way in on the cylinder, running our feet, shooting our arms and hips, then at the same time our attack angles and how we all fly to the ball, okay? Because at the end of the day, missed tackles will happen. That's the reality of football. All right, I don't care what college game you put on. It happens, but now we got to have that second, third, fourth guy flying in there as well to clean those things up. Okay, but yeah, we had some tackling circuits today, and we focused on that, and individual as well as a secondary today.
There's also where Hampton's dangerous on the ground, but he also, I think, has the 17 most yards out of screen passes of anyone in the country right now. What do you the safeties typically are thought of the guy that protect the back part of it, but how does your group contribute to needing to get up in that mix and blow those plays up as well?
Yeah, you guys have been around for a while. We don't just protect the back, and we're aggressive now. When we see those things, we're getting down vertical. We're fitting all pass lanes, vertical run lanes, stuff like that. So, based on the coverage, there will be times where, when certain things occur that we'll be down there ready to fit it up. So they're a very good screen team. When you look at it, they do a good job between the screens with the running backs as well as with their wide receivers. They do a very good job in getting those O linemen out. So, yep, that's been something that's been emphasized and watched that we have to prepare for because, like you say, I think he's third on the team when it comes to receptions as well this year. So they like to get him touches out of the backfield. I mean, he had 29 or 30 carries against Duke as well as 5 or 6 catches as well. So they're finding different ways to get him the ball and create opportunities to get that ball in space as well.
It seems like Carolina's able to plug in a new quarterback, some new skill guys, every couple of years, even a new offensive coordinator, and still keep scoring bunches. What kind of allows them to do that?
I guess it'd be recruiting. I mean, they've done a good job of, they went from Trubisky. I can't remember the quarterback that was in there in 18. Then you had Sam Howell in 19, 20, 21. Then you had Drake May. So right there, you see 3 draft pick quarterbacks right there. Then they've had a plethora of receivers throughout the years. I think 5 or 6 receivers drafted as well in the last 5 cycles. So they've done a good job from that standpoint. They got another guy on the outside on Green that's a very talented football player, as well as those 2 tight ends that have some good catches. I think it's Nesbitt, number 18, downfield. He's had some good catches, a very good athlete that they'll use and flex him out as well. So, from that standpoint, they've done a good job recruiting and, they throw the ball around.
When you look at the defense overall, have you guys used the delta less so far this season than maybe you have in the past? I know Cincinnati and West Virginia run the ball a lot. Maybe that was part of it, but
yeah, the game. You look at the game and all these analytics and all this stuff of going for it, 4 downs. So now there's just been less opportunities from that standpoint. Maybe when you're across the 50 or certain situations, where people are keeping us off the field or we feel it's safer to be in base or whatever it may be. So, I mean, we've still used it. I'd be lying to you if I knew the numbers of last year or the year before of how much we were in delta, but it does feel like I think we got 35 reps of delta this year. So I'd have to see last year's numbers to see what it is, but it does feel a little bit, that has gone down.
So when you see like a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 close to midfield, you can't just assume they're shooting for 12 yards.
And at the same time, too, these teams run tempo, right? So when you get in delta and we bring guys out there and, that package that we bring, sometimes guys like to go tempo. So that changes where, being able to adjust and send guys out there, you're not able to do that. So there's different levels of things that go into it of not being out there as much, if that's the case.
As a coach yourself, what's the benefit of having a veteran presence of guys like Javon, Donovan, and PJ this season? How have you seen the performance so far?
It's good from a maturity standpoint of just your approach when it comes to meetings, expectations. Like as a coach, you don't have to sit here and fight for this is what the standard is, this is what it's supposed to be. Like at the end of the day, when I walk in my office 30 minutes before meetings, they're going to be in there ready to go because that's what's been set and that's the pace of that room. And just when it goes to the work and everything out there. Now at the same time too, I look for these guys as we get to conference play and looking for us to tune it up a notch too. It's great being veteran and having snap counts and everything, but now we got to take it up a few levels as we get into conference play this week.
Chris, you get the last one.
As the assistant head coach, you're not just the coach of the safeties, you're observing the whole team, you're contributing, as other guys are as well. But how have you seen this defense, your players, take on, hey, the coaching that you guys have given them, you guys have played 2, Power 5 opponents, Power 4, wherever the power is now.
I still say Power 5.
Right.
Yeah.
But you guys have faced those 2 teams, you needed comebacks against those 2 teams where you've given up enough points. How have you seen your guys embrace the challenge of needing to show that they can do that from start to finish versus just coming up in the clutch late?
I think when you look at it, and you just talk about defensively, but if you look at it holistically as a program, I mean, you look at that offense, Cincinnati were down 21. I think there was 30 seconds left in that 3rd quarter, and they scored a touchdown. And just the complimentary football that went into that 4th quarter to win that football game. Then you look at West Virginia being down that. Then we had a big stop, put them in 3rd and long. Then the offense goes back down and scores, but we were still down 14. And you just look at that as a whole team-wise, not just defense. Because at the end of the day, the offense could have been like, defense isn't getting a stop. The defense could have said this about the offense, but at the end of the day, the kids put their head down and they just worked and they just kept going. They didn't point any fingers. They didn't do any arguing on the sideline. They just put their head down and kept working. So as you look at that from a program, that says a lot about your team. Then you go into Youngstown State the very next week after playing 2 Power 4 programs, all right, and it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different playing Youngstown compared to those 2 games, which were rivalry games, all right. You got West Virginia backyard brawl, and you still got an old Big East opponent in Cincinnati. And for our kids to go out there and win that game by 50 plus, I think that even says more about them too and their character and who they are as a team and players. So that's been exciting just to see as you go through this non-conference play in those first 4 games. And like I say, now, it's different levels to this now. Now we're going into conference play with North Carolina, who we faced for many years. And, we got a tough challenge as we go down to Chapel Hill and play them at noon down there. Probably going to be in the mid-80s and a little bit hot down there. So we got some challenges to overcome next from this standpoint. But I think as a program, we face adversity pretty well in these first few weeks.